let's now look at GMA because they went on GMA too. So let's look at GMA. Let's see what happened. Come on, here we go. Good morning, America.
Legal experts, they thought it was a very uphill fight from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Victory.
I think the key to victory was focusing on the facts and the evidence, and Johnny's opportunity to speak the truth for the first time.
I gotta say one thing, Camille looks fucking great, right? And so smart.
It was 6 years in the making, and I think he was able to connect with the jury and the general public and tell what really happened in this relationship.
He wasn't in the courtroom for the verdict. What was his reaction when you told him?
He was over the moon. It was like the weight of the world had been taken off his shoulders, and I feel that finally, after 6 years, he's gotten his life back.
He also went on TikTok yesterday thanking his supporters on social media. What role did social media play in this verdict?
My view is that social media played no role whatsoever. This was a decision made by the jury on the evidence presented by both sides. And as Camille said, it was overwhelmingly in Mr. Depp's favor.
Ms. Heard's lawyers put out a statement yesterday saying the verdict was a setback for women's rights. And they went on to say that it's unseemly and unprofessional for you all to be, quote, taking a victory lap for setting back decades of how women can be treated in the courtroom. How do you respond to that?
I think it's disappointing.
So you see how, all right, so Amber Heard's team is saying, we can go out and give press and do all this crazy stuff, right? We can go out and do this stuff. But if you guys do it, it's bad. That's, you see how the spin is ridiculous, right? This is unbelievable spin. Literally, Elaine went out and did her talking points. They come out and do their talking stuff, and they're unethical, right?
We're only speaking about what happened in this case, right? And the facts in this case were overwhelmingly positive for Johnny. And the verdict speaks for itself.
How about the broader criticism, though? It's not just from Heard's teams. Victims advocates have argued that the verdict is going to have a chilling effect on domestic violence victims, and it's a blow to the Me Too movement.
I think our response to that is we encourage any victim to come forward. Domestic violence doesn't have a gender.
So you don't see this as a setback to the movement in any way, shape, or form?
We do not. We believe that the verdict speaks for itself. The facts are what they were. The jury made a unanimous decision based on those facts.
Wait, during your cross...
Now, I would have answered that question a little differently. I would have said, it doesn't sit back. It puts it forward. The victim in this case won, right? His abuser was found to be liable, right? The victim in this case has won. That's what I would have said. So no matter how you try to spin it, George Stephanopoulos, the victim in this case won, right? So if this is about victims getting justice, that's what we got. We got victims getting justice. But I understand she's trying to walk that needle because, everybody's out there saying, this sets back Me Too, this sets back Me Too. No, it doesn't set back Me Too. It pushes it forward because Me Too seems like everybody was thinking it could only be women. But now we have a man who was obviously abused. His abuser severed his finger, beat him up, lied, did everything possible to destroy the man, and admitted on camera, on tape, I beat you up, right? Everyone knows he was the abuser. But you see how even George Stephanopoulos, he can't even reconcile it when the facts and evidence are clear. The man that you're seeing on screen now, Johnny Depp, is the victim in this case. I want to say it forever.
Cross-examination, what was your impression of Ms. Heard's impression on the jury?
I think that her impression on the jury was what it was. I think something that I focused on and we focused on in that cross-examination was using her words against her.
Yes.
And it was very important for us every question that was asked was tied to something she had said previously. And I think the jury got to see and the world got to see and hear from Ms. Heard in that relationship on every single topic.
And understand, they didn't challenge her with other statements other people said. They challenged her with her own statements. And that's easy to do because Amber Heard said so many things differently before than she said now. So, for instance, she would say, yes, he did this on, what did she say earlier? She had said that she didn't remember that she punched Johnny on one day. And then later in the trial, she'll say she remembers she punched Johnny. Or she'll say, I remember this was 2013. And then later she'll say, oh, it's 2012. So those lies, they were able to get together and then challenge her on the stand with, and we all saw it happen. So it was very, very powerful stuff. And that's how you do cross-examination. If you know that you have somebody who's been lying in the past, don't say, well, this person said it and you said it. Challenge them with their own statements. Impeachment, you challenge them with their own statements. Well, you said something differently in the past. And the more you can do that, the less their credibility is going to come off to a jury.
And George, I think there was a real contrast. Johnny took ownership of a lot of things. And it seemed at times, and perhaps it came through to the jury, that she had an answer for everything, and she wasn't taking accountability for anything. And I think that made a difference.
You know, I felt that same way too. Like Amber went up there and was like, I'm such an angel. I can do no wrong. Oh, Johnny's the abuser. Oh, I'm pure. I'm innocent. But that's just not the case, right? She wasn't pure. She wasn't innocent. She was an abuser. And I think Johnny went up there and said, I'm a drug addict. I did this. I did all this bad stuff, but I didn't do this. And here's the evidence to show I didn't do this. So I think that's a very important point. And I think Benchu is right. It allowed you to see who was lying and who was not.
Lawyers say she plans to appeal the verdict. She doesn't have the money to pay for the judgment. And you all have said that the goal is not to impoverish Ms. Heard.
Well, now, this is another legal take that you guys probably won't hear anywhere else. In Virginia, they have this weird rule. Is that, okay, if you're going to appeal, you got to put up a bond, right? And the reason why is that if you've lost your case, like Amber Heard did, then you could just appeal and say, I'm not going to pay him for 10 years. But so the state of Virginia is like, no, we're not going to have that. You got to put up something. So we know that you can pay it. And if you don't put that up, you can't appeal. So Amber's going to have to put up some amount. Some people are saying it's the whole $10 million. Some people are saying it's just a fraction of it, maybe 10% or 20% or something like that. But essentially, she's going to have to put up at least $1 million from what I'm seeing to appeal. Now, she doesn't have enough money for the judgment, but does she have enough money to put on bond for appeal? And then if you lose, that money doesn't go back to her. That money goes back to JD. Crazy. So we'll see. We're going to see.
Is it possible where we could see a settlement where she foregoes the appeal in return for Mr. Depp waiving any monetary damages?
Well, George, we obviously can't disclose attorney-client communications, but
course, yeah.
As Mr. Depp testified and as we both made clear in our respective closings, this was never about money for Mr. Depp. So this was about restoring his reputation, and he's done that.
So you're not disclosing any privileges, but it sounds like that's something that could be on the table, but it's up to Ms. Heard?
Again, we have to be careful what we say, but this was about Mr. Depp's reputation. That was what it was about for him.
Your life has changed a lot in the last several weeks. You got made partner this week. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Both
much.
of you have also become
She
some
did
of
make partner.
Social media stars. How has it changed? What does it feel like?
It's been surreal, and if I'm being honest, a bit overwhelming. But if I can be an inspiration to young women that want to go to law school and...
Listen, Camille, I'm stopping it here. You're an inspiration to us all. You worked hard. You're not a pretty face. You are a badass, intelligent attorney. And if you were a man or a woman, we would all be singing your praises because you did such an amazing job. You know, it's kudos to you. And for anybody who wants to get into law, you know, this is an example of the best of us. She is an amazing attorney. And so is Benchu. And the trial, I like to always say the trial is like the last 10%, but the 90% we don't see. That's what gets you there. That's what gets you to the door. And that's what they did.
study and work hard, then it was all worth it.
You made the choice to go to Virginia for this trial. How much of a difference did that make?
I think Virginia was a good venue for some legal and other reasons.
Damn
and
right it was a good
venue. It
venue.
has a fabulous court system, tremendous judges and fair juries, and I think this, the evidence was listened to carefully on both sides by the jury, and again, it came overwhelmingly in Johnny's favor.
Ms. Heard did win on one count of defamation. Will you be appealing that?
Again, I think it's premature to say.
Yeah, she's
but
not another
if you
pretty
look
face.
at the context
Sorry.
of
If I said it
the
wrong.
verdict, and it was a total win for Johnny.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you very much, George.
So that's it for that. Yes, I think I said Camille's a pretty face. I'm sorry, Camille's not another pretty face. That's what I meant to say. If I messed it up, no, she is a capable attorney. Like, I couldn't do what Camille does. Like, I know my limitations, right? That's an experienced trial attorney. She's probably one of the best in the country. You know, it's like me playing basketball on, you know, and saying I can beat Michael Jordan. It wouldn't be a blowout, but you know, you gotta know, you know, when I know every lawyer believes they're the best attorney, right? I believe that if you give me a case, the time and the money, I'm going to be able to kick ass. But we got to be realistic too. I can't go into a court tomorrow and beat up on Camille. Camille can kick my ass tomorrow, you know, because she's just got the experience, right? My experience, I like. I think it's good, but it's not at that level.